Okay, this is page 114 in your math journal. We're going to call this one Fractions Review. Okay, a fraction just means part out of a whole. So, you have the top of a fraction, so let's use 1/2. The top is called the numerator, and that's how many pieces you have, how many parts you have. And the denominator is the bottom. And that's how many pieces make a whole unit. Okay, so if we have the numerator and the denominator, 1/2, that would mean 1 out of 2 pieces. Okay, adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, you need a common denominator. So example, let's see, I'm doing 3/5 plus 1 1/3 plus 2 minus 1/5. Okay, looking at all these, I need a common denominator. So here I have 5 as a denominator, 3 as a denominator. Here is just a whole number. 5 is a denominator. A common denominator with 3 and 5 would be 15. So I'm going to make all of these over 15. So what did I have to do to 3 to make it 15, or 5 to make it 15? I had to times it by 3, but then I had to do the same thing to the top. So this would be the same as 9/15 plus, and we're going to make this improper. So this is the same as 4/3. Or another way we could look at it is times this by 5 times this by 5. And I have 1 5/15 plus 2 minus times this by 3 to get 15 times the top by 3 as well. Now doing this, it would be easier if I had everything as something over 15. So I'm going to turn these into improper fractions. Okay, improper means the top is bigger than the bottom. So improper of 1 1/3 would be 4/3. Mixed number would be 1 1/3. So these are equal to each other. This is just has the top bigger than the bottom. How do we do that? 1 times 15 is 15. That would be 15 pieces here. Plus 5 more, that would be 20 over 15. So I have 9 over 15 plus 20 over 15 plus 2. If I want to over 15, that'd be 2 over 1. If I want this to be 15, I'm going to times this by 15, but also times the top by 15. That'd be 30 over 15 minus 3 over 15. So here, now that they're all the same, they're all common, now I can just add or subtract the tops. 9 minus 20, or sorry, 9 plus 20 is 29, plus 30 would be 59, and then 59 minus 3 would be 56. So that would give me 56 over 15. But if I want that as mixed number, I just divide the top by the bottom. So 56 divided by 15. 15 goes into 56. 6 times would be 60, or 4 times would be 60, so 3 times. 3 times 15 is 45. So if I take out 45 of those, that gives me 3 whole units. That leaves me with 11 left over, so 3 remainder 11. That'd be 3 whole units and 11 over 15, and I cannot reduce that, so that would be my final answer. Okay, quick reminder on those. Okay, multiplying fractions is super easy. It's just cross cancel. And multiply. Example, let's say we have 3/5 times 7/10 times 10 over 7. We can have improper fractions. Okay. Cross cancel where you can. 5 and 10 share something in common. 5 goes in here 1 time. 5 goes into 10 2 times. 7 and 7 share something in common. That would give me a 1 here and a 1 here. 7 goes into both of those. Okay, 2 and 10, or we could just send 10 and 10, but it's still going to work. Goes in here once. It's going to go in here 5 times. Now, what are we left with? 3 times 1 would be 3. 1 times 5 is 5. Times 1 is 5. So my final answer on that one would be 3/5. What if I have mixed numbers? What if I have, let's do 2 and 1/3 times 2 and 2/7. Okay, when we have this, we want them to be improper, so I'm going to turn this improper. So this would be 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1, that would be 7 pieces out of 3. 2 times 7 would be 14, 15, 16 over 7. Cross cancel if you can. Here we have 7s. 7 goes into 7 one time, 7 goes into 7 another time. 3 and 16 share nothing in common. So that would be 16 over 3. Then if we reduce, 3 goes into 16. 3 goes into 16 5 times. That would be 15. So that would be 5 whole units and 1 piece left over. So my final answer would be 5 and 1/3. Okay, division of fractions. Division with fractions. I want you to remember K, F, C. Keep the first. Flip the second. Change the sign to multiply. Okay, division with fractions. We love dividing fractions because multiplying fractions is so easy. Division, as long as you flip the second one, it's just another multiplication problem. So let's say you have 3 and 1/5 divided by 2 and 2/3. Okay, keep the first. We don't want to work with mixed numbers. Improper is so much easier. So we're going to turn this into 3 times 5 plus 1. That would be 16 over 5. Keep the first. Notice I'm not changing anything yet. This would be 2 times 3 would be 6, plus 2 would be 8. All I'm doing is writing these as improper fractions. Now, keep the first. If I keep the first, that would be 16 over 5. Flip the second. I always flip the divisor. So this is the second one. So I'm going to flip the second one, the divisor. Divide it by 3 over 8. Oh, except for it's not divide. Keep the first, flip the second, change the sign. Okay. If I can do any cross canceling, I will. 8 goes into 8 one time. 8 goes into 16 two times. I can't do any more cross canceling, so I'm just going to multiply across the top. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. My final answer is 1 and 1/5. 5 goes into 6 one time. Leaves me with 1 left over. 1 and 1/5 is my answer. Okay, last little thing I want to talk about. Decimal to fraction and fraction to decimal. They're both parts of numbers. Okay, if I have a decimal, let's say I have 0.36. I'm looking at the place value here. So this would be in the hundredths. That means I have 36 over 100. Now I just need to reduce that. What goes into both 36 and 100? I know that 2 does. So I'm going to reduce by 2. That would give me 36 divided by 2 is 18 over 100 divided by 2 is 50. Okay, that still will reduce, so I'm going to reduce by 2 again. And that leaves me with 9 on top and 25. There's nothing more that will go into both 9 or 25, so that is 0.36 as a fraction. Now, fraction to decimal. Let's say you have 1 and 2/3. So first of all, I want this improper, so I'm going to change this to 5/3. That's still a fraction though. Remember that this line right here means divide. So I'm going to take the top, divide by the bottom. So 5 divided by, notice that top goes inside the box. 5 divided by 3. 3 goes into 5 one time. Well, there's my one whole that we had. Decimal place, annex is 0, keep going. So 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring down the 0, keep going. 3 goes into 20. 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18, so I'm going to minus 18. Gives me 2. Annex another 0. Bring that down. 3 goes into 20. 6 times. Minus 18. Notice I am repeating. I'm going to get 2 again. Then I'm going to bring down another 0, and I'm going to get 6. So this is going to keep going 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. 1 2/3 as a decimal is equal to 1.6 with a line over it, because that 6 repeats. 0.36 is equal to 9 over 25. If I do 9 divided by 25, I will get this. So that's how to go from fraction to decimal and back again.